ghosts and the ghouls disturb you.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Nightmare on Woodsboro Lake, and I am joined once again by a very special guest. You're known as, I've heard Imitation Dave. Is that pretty appropriate?
Well, I guess, yeah, depending on your opinion, I suppose. But yeah, Scott, sorry, from the You Run podcast, he dubbed me that. So, you know, so it's Dave, Imitation Dave, you know, Leprechaun 81, whatever.
Leprechaun 81. That I was gonna say. I know you by Leprechaun 81, and I know you from. I've heard him say Imitation Dave, so I was like, I didn't know which way you wanted me to.
Yeah, no, hey, that's you know what, we'll go with the flow.
We'll go with the flow. So yeah, tell us the viewers out there a little bit about you.
You know, I'm a simple man, and I like I like movies of genre, horror, obviously. I'd say what initially got me into it was my dad. We used to just rent movies all the time back in the day when you used to actually go to a video store and pick them out, and they'd have these, you know, a great horror section. But anyway, we just rented anything and everything. Evil Dead franchise is probably the first one. You know, Army of Darkness. Well, we watched that so many times, and but of course, when Scream came out, it was like, oh, okay. You know, this is very different. This is amazing. This is great. And that's, yeah, loved Scream and Ghostface since then. Yeah. Also, what is it? Sleepaway Camp. That was the first one I think I ever watched, and it scarred me because it was, you know, you're at a sleepover. You're like, I don't know, like 11 years old, right? And then the ending of that one, and you're just like, it's just, yeah, you know, like a little bit of PTSD, but we're good now, I think. Until they reboot it, and then I'm convulsing in the theater. But so yeah, that's essentially it. I like horror. That's you know, obviously that's kind of what got me started on Instagram, because I didn't use my account up until, you know, well, probably a year or two ago. I just did not use it, never. So anyway. Just the community is great. I couldn't believe it. Everybody was like really supportive, and there was no egos, and it was good. Just like to interact and you know, because we're all messed up in slightly different ways, and we embrace it.
Let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you said it a lot better than I did. Yeah.
And hey, that's awesome, man. I joined the horror community for the same reason, you know, for an outlet for my love of horror, and just to like make like friends with like-minded individuals, and I can feel that.
Yeah.
And you went ahead and actually answered my other questions.
Yes.
No, you're good.
Okay, so we're good. I see everybody. Thanks so much.
You hit the ground running, and that's
yeah.
Totally cool. I'm cool with it.
Okay, you can tell me, you know, Dave, just shut up, just stop. We can edit it out later, yeah, or not.
But no, that's awesome. So you said Evil Dead and those movies were like some of the first that you'd really watched.
Yeah, those were the ones. Like, I guess Evil Dead's pretty old, right? I mean, it used to be on like just randomly, right? You'd be up late and it would be on. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Yeah, there was those, still some of my favorites. I love Bruce Campbell. You know, even some of the stuff you don't hear too much about, like Bubba Hotep, right? That one's I love it. It's crazy.
Huh. I haven't. Yeah, that's one I haven't heard of. So you'll have to like link me that or something.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. Yeah, absolutely. I follow him on Twitter and stuff. So, you know, you always see he'll post stuff all the time, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't watched it like in years. So, but anyway, yeah, I'll send you the link later. It's worth a watch. It's good.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned a Sleepaway Camp. To be completely honest with you, I didn't actually watch that until like, I think it's been about a month ago now that I.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's recent.
Yeah, and that ending just.
Yeah, it's you know, hey, it's yeah, and it's old. It's an old film, right? And I was like 11. I'd never been exposed to, you know, anything like that at all. And then for that ending, you're just like, I remember it scarred me. I was so confused. I'm, hold on, holding my head, and then the junk is out, and I was just, but I thought I was like, I had so many questions, you know. Young Dave was
Right. Yeah, of course.
It was like a train wreck. You couldn't stop looking at it, but at the same time, you wanted to stop looking at it as soon as possible.
Yeah, like I felt the same way. It was just kind of one of those. It's just one of those things. Like you're like I shouldn't be looking at this right now, but you do it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go see Felissa Rose on Saturday. They're
No way.
to a horror horror con in Idaho, and
Nice.
she's one of the guests that's gonna be there. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be cool to like meet. I haven't been to a con before, so this is all gonna be like a first for me, and I'm really excited about it.
I would be too, right? Especially well, you watched the movie a month ago, and now you get to, that's awesome. I was looking up. I just moved recently, and from Toronto, and the Toronto Fan Expo is soon. I think it is. So I missed that, and then I'm like, oh well, I checked the local one. Oh, that was back in April. So I'm like, oh, I'm like no. And then the ones I wanted to go were kind of canceled due to COVID or virtual, and I was like, okay, so there's always next year. But I'm glad, take lots of pictures. I'll live through you and your con experience. Right? Like maybe slap a GoPro on for me.
There we go. That's what I need to do. I just need to record it the whole time.
Exactly.
While I'm around. I did that at like another thing. I actually all I did was put my phone in my I had like a flannel on, and I just put my phone in my front pocket.
Yeah, like facing. Yeah.
POV as I moved around.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I remember you were on that cruise, and I was on the cruise with you. I was there. I really wanted to go on vacation, but I wasn't, obviously. And I was like, yeah, you're having some drinks and whatever. Yeah, that was funny. So yeah, if you could do that, that's good. That's really good.
I could do that. I think I can manage that.
Okay, all right.
So today, the reason that you and I are here together is that you and I have both decided on a movie that we wanted to review together, and it's definitely a classic. There's a lot of controversy surrounding this film, but I've always enjoyed it. Even before I heard all the crap, and that is Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, I love it. I remember watching, like, when it first came out, like it did pretty well, right? I had a good buzz about it, and it's still pretty good. Like you still watch it. Still, some stuff doesn't age well, and you go, oh God, I'm never watching that again. But no, I think it still holds up all right. Yeah.
And I'm excited for the one that's coming out, Reborn.
I only heard about that recently.
Yeah, they released a trailer recently, and it looks pretty good. It's a different route than the other three that are out. But it looks good, and it's only going to be in select theaters a couple of days in September.
It's like, wow, it's like literally, like that's it. You miss it, it's over.
Right. And then I guess hopefully it comes to, I would expect it hopefully to come to DVD, but
it has to. Yeah.
They're like, nope, screw you guys. You didn't see it in theaters. You don't get to see it at all. The film was released in 2001. It was starring Justin Long was one of the main characters in this movie. He's known for a lot of his like funnier films, more like Dodgeball or
love it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's so young in this because I watched it recently. Knowing we're going to review it again, and I was like, he is like really young. And then I was like, that was apparently his first like major lead role.
Yeah, I read he was only 22 at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And he looks if you told me he was 20, I probably would have believed you. He looks really young. It's just so funny to see him.
Yeah, his sister looked a lot older. Actress was named Gina Phillips. I don't remember her from much else. Like this is like the one movie that I can place her face to.
She's so familiar, and I was like, I know her. She's been in other stuff, but if you could put a gun to my head, and I probably couldn't name it right now. There's someone out, and there's someone right there screaming at us, going on, on Instagram right now or whatever, saying, "No, she was in this, you idiot!" But for now we can't. Look, I'm sorry, we just can't think of any other movies. Okay, she's not an actress.
Yeah. No, she did a great job in this film. I feel like they all did.
Yeah.
You know, and to give this movie a quick synopsis, so we have a brother and sister coming home for their spring break, essentially from college and what they're doing, their lives. And, you know, they are going through the countryside, going to meet their mom. And so I don't know, I don't want to spoil it exactly, but they run into some unexpected trouble out there in the middle of BFE. And
that's a good acronym.
Crap hits the fan. I might spoil more later, but right now I'm just giving you the back of the DVD. Like,
yeah, you can't
run into something out in the country. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and I have to, you know, it's going back to, you know, how it still holds up, and it was, you know, I think it's still fairly popular. I still see memes about it. Like, there's the one where, you know, the couple are in bed and they're kind of like, the guy's facing away from his girlfriend and she's looking at him, and she's like, he's thinking of other women, and then they'll have the Jeepers Creeper. Sorry, the guy will be thinking, how did the creeper register a vehicle and get a personalized license plate? Right? And it's so true. And you're like, when you start thinking back, you're like, hold on a second. Yeah. How did he do that? Like, he's not, like, without, like I said, without giving too much away. I mean, the thing came out in 2001, so I'm not going to be too heartbroken if you're like, oh God, you spoiled it. But you know, it's like, where did he get the truck? Who's maintaining the truck? Is he like, is he Snow White and his forest animals are like coming in and, you know, changing the cap and rotor for him and, you know, jacking it up? I don't know, but it's
oil change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like,
does he go to the quick lube? Like, does he stop in? And he's like,
yeah.
God, that's a lot of raised questions.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes. Vehicle maintenance, though, we can't stress that enough. It's very important, right?
It's very important, people. So if you're out there watching, make sure you stay up on your car's upkeep. Go down to your local Valvoline and go get yourself an oil change.
Yeah, and have them check your brakes. You know, you'll thank us. You'll thank us later.
Yeah,
after you get screwed.
And go ahead and use this link. I'm going to link it below. It's Lake/Valvoline full synthetic.
Yeah, full synthetic. Yeah, next show we'll all have Valvoline hats and little flags, checkered flags. This is about, you know, we might be onto something there. Yeah.
Yeah, get some deals going.
Exactly, right?
But yeah, I love the interactions between the brother and the sister. It feels very real. It doesn't feel like, you know, like acting. Like they seem like they're really related. And because I'm sure, do you have siblings?
No. So I'm gonna go with you on this one. Yeah, you'll be my go-to. I don't have any siblings, so.
But I felt it. Like, I was like, that's totally how my brother and I would act, or my sister and I would act. So I felt it was very legit. And I love how, like, she points out that he has like all this laundry in the back, and he's like, well, you know, Mom would be heartbroken if I didn't like bring home stuff for her to wash and dry and stuff. She loves doing that, you know?
Yeah. Like, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so funny you said that. Yeah, he's got like all the dirty laundry in the back. It stinks.
Right? Like he like, what, did you wear the same clothes? Like, you just have like an outfit for every day and then you reuse the same ones and don't ever wash it? Like, I mean, shit.
These are the questions. Maybe the unedited version will, you know, they'll delve into that a little bit.
So some like shots of before, like him getting ready to leave college, like.
Yeah, exactly. And he's using the old like washing board, and he's like, no, forget that. He just gives up and throws it all like half wet still into the garbage bag. I'm like, mom will love me for this.
Down by the river, he's like out there and
down by the river.
Some Amish people out there trying to wash their clothes too, and he's like, you know, hey Jebediah,
yeah, how's it going? Yep. Oh God,
I love. What are you doing with your beard, Malachi? I've got to know.
Yeah, what do you? Is there an oil? Is there a treatment? Yeah, as a hint of hibiscus. You're like, yes, okay, that's it.
That's the key. That's what's
that's the key. Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, I'm totally like taking us way off track.
That's okay. That's me every day. So this is yeah. I thought you'd be trying to rein me in and be like, okay, Dave, back on track here. So we're good. Yeah, that giant hook. Yeah, they used to have.
But yeah, so they're wandering through, and they end up getting like almost run down by this truck.
Yeah.
Our well-maintained truck that we
Yeah, it is, because they're like, remember at one part they drive by, they see something kind of fishy going on. He's right. They see this truck. He's throwing something down this, what looks like a chute, right? And and they're like, they leave him in like, sorry, wow, had a bit of a seizure there, but anyway, yeah, they leave him for dead, and but he ends up catching up. So I think this thing's tuned, don't be fooled, everybody. He's probably racing for pink slips, like on the weekends he pulls up to the meets and stuff, and they're like, what's this junk? It's like a 1941 Chevy, POS, and then and then he just rips it. That's it.
He rolls up, he's like, I live my life accordingly.
Yes, I can't believe I didn't even think of that. So that's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Starts talking about families, everything, and then just gives her, right. Does a big smoke and burn out. Takes the guy's girlfriend for good measure. Probably ends up killing her too, but whatever.
I see a crossover coming. Fast and Furious 11. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, and we need to come up with a working kind of title, right? It's
right?
Creepers. Yeah, well, okay, we'll come back to that later. Yeah. Like it's
Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get them tires?
Oh
man, that's good. But yeah, you mentioned, they see him tossing what looks like a body in a sheet.
Yeah.
Down this tube, and you see that he notices them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's giving him the stare. He's like, yeah, he sees him right away.
Right, stink eye. He's like, you motherfuckers. And he hops in his souped up truck, and he like takes off down the road, and he's like literally like up on their ass, and they're like wanting him to go around. He's like, nope. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, it's kind of what do you call it? It makes it a little bit anxious. You're like, oh man, like Jesus, like just get out of the way.
Yeah, right. Like, do what you got to do. Get off the road. Like,
yeah. Even the sister's yelling, like, pull over, just slow down. And you're like, come on, Justin, Jesus, man, like this is not amateur hour. Just pull it a little bit over, slam on the brakes. You're
not driving a Toyota Celica or something. Get off the road.
Exactly.
But it's so funny, because that reminds me of like how people drive in real life. I have so many times where I'm going to work and people are like, I'm going over the speed limit already, and they're like up my ass. I'm like, dude, unless you're a fucking hemorrhoid, get the hell off my ass.
Yeah, maybe you need one of those bumper stickers that says like, hold on, I'm reloading or something like that. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.
Caution, oil slick.
Yeah. See, here we go. Yeah, you need the James Bond little, what do you call them? All the little gadgets he had, the oil slick, the smoke behind you. Yeah.
I'll start throwing banana peels out the window like it's freaking Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's right. I was playing that last night, actually, so it's funny. That was a good segue. And then we need to be like, hey, unlock the new tracks on the DLC. Put the code in, NOWL.
We've got another plug.
Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah, that would be wicked. Yeah, if you had Nintendo's, that'd be awesome. I like it.
Imitation Dave at nintendo.net / DLC unlockable content Mario Kart 64.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 64. Yeah.
I'm gonna get knocks on my door later from Nintendo.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, no. There's a little bit of copyright, infringement here.
We're gonna need you to take down your video.
Yeah. And then we can, maybe you can get some clout from that. You can act very upset. You're trying to feed your family with this last video. Yeah, right. Maybe it might work. Might get some clout. GoFundMe.
I'm being sued by Nintendo, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Support me. I got mouths to feed.
Yeah. I saw. What's the dog's name?
Oh, Kane.
Okay, yeah, you can be like, he's got this digestive issue, and the food needs to be, yeah, like he's on this
Right.
raw diet. It's expensive.
Well, actually, he's actually on joint food. He has
Oh,
joint
really?
issues, so I can totally
Oh,
play
okay,
the
cool, cool,
card.
good. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Have that card ready. It's in your back pocket. As soon as anything goes down, boom,
Right.
card.
Boom.
Yeah.
I'm set. But yeah, so eventually they do get run off the road, and he keeps on driving. So you're like, okay, is this over? Like, you're like, probably not, but like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seems like it's for the moment. They're like, okay, we're in the middle of this field because they like whipped off the road, and he's going on his way, and then they end up like coming into the small town diner, and kind of like, cooling off after whatever the hell they just witnessed,
Yeah.
and trying to get a hold of like the police, and like, like tell them their story, like, dude, we see this weird shady ass dude dumping stuff down this pipe, driving this beat up truck.
You can't miss it. Yeah,
Check
yeah.
it out.
You have to, as soon as you describe this truck, there has to be the only one in like the whole county where the cop is like, oh yeah, that thing. Like this is not like, yeah, you're running the mill, Dodge pickup here, where it's gonna blend in with every other vehicle there. No, it's not happening.
Right. The powder blue Chevy, with the gun rack and
The gun rack.
and the pair of like brass balls hanging.
Oh man, on the hit, yeah.
From the thing. God, why can't I make?
The trailer hitch, yeah, hanging off that, yeah.
Why couldn't I think of that word? What the hell?
I know it's tough. It's tough. Well, we don't really use, the trailer hitch scrotum. That phrase is not really used very often. So I think you could be forgiven for not for not actually thinking of it.
Right. Okay, I'll get a free pass on that one. But yeah, and then this is where things start to get interesting, I think, because it ends up that this church building or the school or church building that he was at catches fire, or like it's on fire. Am I thinking of?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the church, and I mean, we did skip ahead where he ends up going back. Well, we didn't. No, I don't think we really skipped ahead, but yeah, he ends up going back because he's like, look, something got thrown down there, and remember, he starts guilt tripping the sister. He's like, oh, geez, what happens if it was you? And she's like, this is the part in the scary movie where everyone's yelling at you, like, well, this is not. Don't quote me on this, but this is the stupidest thing you could possibly do. You got away from the guy, you just go straight to the cops, and that's it. You let them deal with it. No, we're going to go back and investigate, and he ends up falling down the chute. And that's where, that's when the shop of horrors opens up, or can of worms, I should say.
Right. And God, I've seen this movie so many times, and I just, I don't know why I skipped that. I skipped so far ahead, but it ends up that, Justin ends up falling down into this tube. And he sees that there's like all these bodies, like, and it's funny because I read this earlier, but I noticed this too, is like, it's pitch black down there. He looks down the tube, and all of a sudden he's down there, and there's like light coming down on him, like,
it's like, it's like, oh, and he's like, how you couldn't see a goddamn thing before, now all of a sudden you got this halo around you, it's like a spotlight falling around.
Right, like, are you the chosen one?
Yeah.
He's gonna be the savior of them all.
Yeah. Maybe it's foreshadowing. See, it's not an F up, It's some foreshadowing, he's gonna be the one to save the day, or at least die trying, one or the other.
Right. And man, I mean, like I said, I don't want to give everything away. I'm trying to, like, I mean, if you haven't seen Jeepers Creepers, though, in the freaking 22 years or whatever, 21 years it's been out, then where have you been?
Yeah, can you take it easy with that? Because I still think 2001 was like maybe 11, 12 years ago. I don't think it was 20. I remember it. I'm trying to, help me out here. Yeah, it's like, honestly, I was like, Jesus, this thing came out like, over 20 years ago.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels, I mean, it's not like super modern, but it feels really modern, you know?
Yeah, like exactly. I know what you mean. Although when they were trying to look down the chute and it's pitch black, I remember thinking he's like, "Oh, I'll get a light," and I swear to God, I was thinking he's going to pull his cell phone out because I was thinking that just pull your cell phone out, turn the light on.
Yeah.
Well, like 2001, you're going to have a brick, a Nokia 5190. That ain't going to have a light on it. It's going to, yeah, the battery's going to be amazing, but you know, you could probably club the creeper to death with it, but you know, there's no flashlight.
Yeah, right. I know, because I remember like even as I got a little older, my first cell phone was like black and white, or like the screen was black and white.
Yeah, yes.
Nothing real crazy about it, you know, and you had like basic ringtones and like this snake game on it.
Yeah, oh, the snake game, classic. Yeah. Yeah, but the ringtones were better. You ever see now? Like I got the new iPhone a little while ago. Mine was getting on in years. And I look at the ringtones and I was like, what the hell is this? It's like it's like the same thing. It's like all these, it's like I'm prancing around in a forest playing the flute. It's like it's just the same thing over and over and over again. When, like you said, when you used to get the old cell phones, it was like, oh, you'd have Christmas carols, you'd have like, I don't know, happy birthday, you'd have this, you'd have that. You know, even the original iPhone had all kinds of stuff, and now they've just given up.
They're like, well, we gave you all this other crap, but
yeah,
know,
I think they just want you to buy stuff. So, you know,
right?
I think so.
Right. And I mean, God, I remember when I finally upgraded and got like this little like slide up kind of like phone, and I thought,
oh,
like,
nice,
like the coolest thing in the world. Nothing, like, once again, nothing fancy. Camera was crap.
Oh yeah, it was like 1 megapixel. Yeah.
Right. And then like finally there was some more games, like, oh man, I can play Tetris on this now. Like, what are we in, like the 80s? Like
I know, it's funny to think of it, right? Because I remember even if you wanted to check a score, I remember I was at the Molson Indy years ago, wanted to check a score, had a flip phone, a Sony Ericsson for God's sake, and yeah, forget it. It would take you about like an hour to load a basic, you know, text web page, you know, on a cell phone. It was just nuts. I just gave up.
Right. And then after 9 o'clock, you got free minutes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, I didn't even have Wi-Fi. It's crazy. Yeah, right. And you're right. And then on your birthday, maybe they'd be like, oh, you know, minutes are free. This, oh God, we got scammed so hard. How is there not a class action lawsuit?
so many questions.
Yeah.
But so yeah, going back to the movie, and yeah, so they, you know, they end up reporting it and nothing's found. And they start to seem like, okay, you know, we're in this backwards town, nothing's like, nobody believes them, you know, they all start, they kind of sound like they're crazy talking, you know. And they end up getting this call from this lady, the psychic lady, and she's like, says something about all the cats or something, you know, like, did you like
yeah, crazy cat, we'll just call her crazy cat lady, okay, just like in The Simpsons, she's out there throwing cats around, you know.
Right. And which, God, that scene when they do go to they end up going to this crazy cat lady's house, and all the freaking cats she had, like, this lady was insane with this is getting shut down. Yeah, the SPCA, you know, or PETA, they did have a field day with this one, right? Like, where, I mean, obviously they don't come out to this town very often, because that lady would have been
yeah exactly
is with that. And I found out, like, the way that they got all those cats to come up to the windows and be like, you know, where you could see them, they actually smeared tuna on the windows.
Makes sense.
Like, basic stuff, you know.
Smart. Well, we're not cat wranglers in Hollywood, so I mean, that's probably like cat wrangling 101. It's like, oh, you want a cat to do something? Just get a can of tuna, smear it on whatever. Right? And actually, that brings me to my next point. You know, with that many cats in place, that's very unhygienic. You know, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Okay, just like Bob Barker used to say.
Right. Right.
That's right.
As soon as you said that, that's immediately who I thought of was Bob Barker.
I love Price is Right. So yeah, when I started thinking about it, all the cats, I was like, Jesus, yeah, Bob Barker's gonna be very upset.
Right? Like, yeah, you gotta know when to quit.
Yeah, exactly. 4, maybe 5, then they start breeding. You're like, okay, that's enough. Enough is enough.
Right.
You put a sign out, free kittens. Come on now.
Right. This lady, I don't know what the rest of her house looked like. I don't even want to imagine what the rest of her house looked like. But so they're like talking to her, and she's like, ends up, there's like the scarecrow ends up being the creeper out in her yard,
Yeah.
and she's like, comes out there with her gun and like shoots, at him and stuff, and he ends up, you hear all this commotion in her house and like cats like hissing and like and stuff like that, and she like goes back in her house. She's like, my babies, like, yeah, all 130 of your goddamn.
Yeah, I like that guy. I don't know, but I mean, it is a great part though, where because you don't know, like, who is the creeper? Is he a man? He seems to be, like doing stuff that most people probably couldn't do, right? You're hopping around, you're in a field, you're a scarecrow. It looks like maybe you got wings, although that's, I don't know. If you watch the second one, then we can always talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, it's, you start to, like, you're trying to figure out, who is this guy? What can he do? And what can't he do?
Yeah, and like what gives him his supernatural abilities that he's able to do these things. And more of it is revealed as time goes on, but at first glance, you like those first scenes we were talking about before, where like he's chasing them down, he's dumping the bodies, you don't get a good look at him, so you're like, okay, is it just like a murderer, like a serial killer? Like, you don't know if like he's just some perverted sick dude doing messed up shit. Like, and then, like you said, at this scene, like you see a little more, like he's able to like jump and like really far and like do like kind of crap. And he's like, you're like, okay, so this guy is not human, obviously.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell is he? And he ends up killing the cat lady. Now all her cats are gonna die.
Yeah, like, good job, man. Like, she got like 100 mouths to feed.
Right.
And she was kind of a badass. She knew something was out there. She's still there with the gun. She's trying to protect her cats. Respect to you, crazy cat lady.
Respect.
Pour one out for our dead homie.
Rest in peace. I don't have a drink with me, otherwise.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's Thursday. Maybe if we did it tomorrow, we probably would have been half in the bag by now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
And he ends up killing her. So they have to hightail it out of there. And they eventually make their way to the police station. And once again, there are these crazy people crying wolf, like, we've seen some shit, like, and they're like,
you think they'd be happy? The cops are probably so bored there, right? They're falling asleep, and they're like, hold on, wait, what? This could be my big case,
right? I'm getting out of this podunk town.
I'll be world famous. Like, I caught the backwater murderer. No, the backwater strangler. I don't know. We'll come up with something later.
Right. And the inbred strangler.
Yeah.
Something back there, you don't know what's going on in that town.
No,
it's very small townish. So, but so yeah, then this is where it really, really, really. I mean, I knew it started to pick up, after he kind of ran him off the road, and then they've got like crap going on at the old lady cat lady's house. But then this is where like shit really hits the fan, and it gets real, because we're reaching the climax of the film. And usually I save this part for my guests, because I want you to have the most important part of the movie. Did you want to kind of indulge us on the climax of the film here with the whole jail sequence? And
I'll let you take. I want to be the sidekick. I'll let you continue, and I'll chime in if we're good with that. I think that's my strengths. I think I gotta know. I appreciate the sentiment because handing the mantle to me, I appreciate. But
I am the knight. Like I feel
that
like
was
Batman
really good
right now, and
I was gonna say that was pretty good.
Freaking! I used to always make fun of Christian Bale's like Batman. You know?
Oh man,
What do you want from me, Joker?
That's really good. Honestly, but that's exactly what he does, like the whole time, you know. And we've seen it all the time too, all the memes and my parents are dead, you know. And that's he just keeps yelling like, over and over, like all these skits and stuff. It's classic.
Rachel.
You know, I got a lot of mileage out of. Oh man, oh my God, what's his name? Bane. He was. I found like very cool, you know, dangerous guy. But then, you know, he'd be like, "Oh, speak of the devil," and the devil here, you know, the devil here, all his little zingers. I was dying. My cousin and my dad, we were killing ourselves. I was like, "This is the best." Like we can.
I was born in it.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Oh my God, this is so good.
Oh man, I haven't seen that movie in forever, but those are good movies. I mean, as much flack as I'm giving Christian Bale right now with his voice, but
yeah,
he made a good Batman. It was a good,
yeah, he did.
It was a good trilogy.
Yeah, no, he definitely, you know, it was definitely a good. The casting with him was good. Like, let's face it. But you know what? Hey, if you're Batman for 3 movies, you're gonna people are gonna find something funny. You know, they're gonna do something.
Right, because all the other Batmans. I'm getting real sidetracked here, but all the other Batmans, they changed a lot. Like we had like George Clooney, we had Val Kilmer, you know, and I think he's the only one who's been consecutive.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because there was a lot of time lapse too. Remember Batman and Robin, like with Arnold as Mr. Freeze, like that one I've got great memories of because, you know, obviously huge Arnold fan and with it was a weird choice, but it had what's her name as Poison Ivy. Like I thought the casting was great.
Uma Thurman.
Why is that so hard? Yeah, Uma Thurman. Yeah, no, I thought I liked I don't know, Clooney. I don't know. I'd have to watch it back, but you know.
So that actually segues me into something here.
Yeah,
I know you could do a lot of voices. Can you do Arnold?
Oh yeah, sure. That's one of my go-tos, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh Jesus Christ, this Arnold again! Learn some new material." But anyway, I'm gonna give it to you again. So, all right, I'll be like, "I'll do it. I'll do it now. Look at you. Oh, and hold on, I'm trying to think of a line he uses in because he has a lot of cheesy like zingers and one-liners in Batman and Robin. Oh, what does he say? You know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so you'd be like, get to the chopper. Actually, I want to see Prey because I love Predator, one of my all-time favorites. But I heard a lot of good things about Prey. So
yeah, I've been hearing a lot of it too, and everybody's recommending it to me. And I'm like, I've got Hulu. I need to watch it. You want to hear my Arnold?
Yeah, I want to hear your Arnold. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Hello there. California. Everybody, get down now.
Man, that is amazing. That's really good because I have trouble like trying to speak as Arnold, right? Like I can do the the weird noises and the one-liners, but trying to speak like that is really tough.
Yeah,
for me anyway.
Hour fitness, 1 extra hour working out.
I worked with a guy who could do that, and the best Arnold impression I ever heard. And he could just say whatever you want. You could say, "Here, read the Bible," and he'd be like, "Deuteronomy 3, verse 16." Like he would just funniest thing, man. Like we got so, oh god, yeah. And anyway, we're getting off track again, but you know.
So, but okay, so I'll try to do this as like painless as possible for this climax without like giving every freaking play-by-play.
Okay.
So we've got them all in the police station. The psychic finds her way to the police station, and you know, we finally get like a face to the voice on the phone. You know, this little old sweet looking, you know, southern looking lady, you know. And
like very stereotypical,
right. And they're like, "Oh yeah, she's helped us on some cases, but like, you know, she's crazy, she's a loon, don't listen to this lady." And
which is amazing that the cops would use her to help, but then completely disregard her at the most important case, in probably, American history at the time. They're like, she's crazy. We know we used you before and you were right, but.
Right. And so like all of a sudden, like the lights go out in the police station, and, they're like all on like lock, like alert now. They're like, okay, what the hell's going on? Like, they got to go check on the prisoners and like see what's happening and make sure that everything's running smoothly, and try to get like the emergency generators running, and like, I'm sure simple protocol in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And they end up, there's like one scene then in particular that stuck out was like, like they're checking on the prisoners in the cells, and like the guys are like in there like freaked the hell out. They're like
yeah, nothing good is coming of this. Yeah.
And you end up seeing like this creature in the cell eating one of the other inmates.
Yeah, and how did he get in there so quick? Like,
right?
Yeah, like, it's like you're not just gonna like hop through the attic and then jump down through some sheathing and oh, sorry everybody, hold on. It's like, yeah, how the hell did he get in there?
And is he Osmosis Jones? How did he get through the fucking bars?
Exactly, right? I started thinking like, is this anyway, but yeah, he's like a greased pig in there. He's just slipping through. Yeah.
Going through the bar.
That's amazing. That has to be the cover. This should be the cover for the video or whatever. That was awesome. Oh my god.
Oh man. And so then they're like, oh, like holy shit, okay, something's what the hell is this? Like then like things get real, like, okay.
Yeah, everyone starts panicking.
Yeah, it's panic mode. People are dying, and the brother and sister there, like in the midst of this chaos, and they end up. So I guess I am skimming as quickly as possible. Justin Long's character gets taken and flies off with Justin Long's character. This is like the first scene that we get to see those wings.
Yeah.
That the creeper.
I always think of him like a locust. That's how I even though he flies, I always think he's kind of like a locust.
Kind of like a grasshopper. Like it must.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. It's kind of weird.
Under that trench coat that he's wearing.
Yeah, I think it's like the Spider-Man scene though, where like he's like web slinging his way through New York, and and Justin Long is curled up like to him. They really, maybe that's could be a deleted scene. We don't know.
Yeah, I think we need a new cover. I think we need.
I think we need
the Jeepers Creepers chest. Like,
you know what?
Like.
Leave it with me.
Like Mary Jane,
Yeah. Photoshop skills. We need, we definitely need to start brushing up on those.
Right. If anybody's watching this video and can recreate what we're talking about, please do.
Please, for the love of God.
Please do, and send it to me, and try to send it as quickly as possible. Might use that for the clip art.
Yeah, and if you do, we'll make it worth your while. I mean, we'll give you like a free topping when you purchase 2 scoops at Baskin Robbins. It's lucrative. Don't worry. Maybe a download code for Mapes Nintendo something.
Yeah, BaskinRobbins.com/nightmare ice cream.
Yeah.
69.
Nightmare ice cream. Yeah, I could maybe loan you my Disney Plus login info, right? Yeah, that's just for a while. And
yeah, I got some old gift cards.
yeah, there might be something on them. There might be like, how about this one 15 cents? No, okay, this one 2.25. Okay,
right.
0.
I'll give you 5 minutes in dollar store. Pick whatever you want.
Nice.
We'll make it worth your while.
Yeah, exactly.
But so he gets taken. And the sister's like left in the dust, like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah. Now it's just like, okay, now what the hell do we do?
Right. And essentially, this is where we pretty much leave the film. Is like you get this scene in like this creepy place, like where, you know, there's all this stuff around, and it obviously cheapers the creeper is a hoarder. We
Yeah,
need to
that
have
we know
some,
for sure.
we need to have some kind of intervention.
Yeah, just like the show Hoarders. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call them up right now, and I'm gonna send them on down there. I just got to get the name of the town. Um, but then there's this epic scene of like Justin Long's character hanging there,
Yeah.
and his eyes are missing,
Yeah.
and we get that last iconic shot of the creeper, like he like pops up and peeks.
Yeah. Kind of does like a little Texas Chainsaw, a little bit, maybe, you know, like just, yeah.
Yeah, a little homage there.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. See.
But and it just leaves at that. You're like, okay.
Yeah. What the hell?
No resolve.
Yeah, and they play the old music like that, Jeepers Creepers, and it's which is really good. Yeah, where'd you get those peepers, right? So
right, where'd you get those eyes? We
knew
exactly where I got those.
Now we know. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, as you said, leaves us with a lot of questions.
A lot. And then, you know, what's crazy to me, and I won't go into spoiling anything, Jeepers Creepers 2, it's a whole different scenario, a whole different people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what about, you know, what about the sister? What about like?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's almost like a completely different timeline. Right? Because yeah, I know what you mean. Instead of picking up where maybe she's older and she shows up, you know, like later or whatever, right? She's still trying to track him down, although the first place I go to is down that bloody chute again.
Right? And with a lot of firepower and a lot of whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You're going down with the hottest, like brightest day of the year. Yeah. You're right. I bring like the jaws of life from the fire department. I crank that sucker open like a tin can. Right. You know. Yeah. No messing around this time.
Yeah, we're gonna excavate this mofo.
Yeah. I'll show up with the earth mover. 8-hour shift. We'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be good. But yeah, like, and the other, have you seen all three of them?
You know what? I've seen the second. I've definitely seen the second, the third, or like honestly, I can't even remember that much past the second. So I know they're coming out with a new one, but I don't even know. I didn't even know there was a third, to be honest with you.
Watch the third one. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, it'll change a lot of perspectives on a lot of things.
Okay.
I'm not going to give anything away about it for people who may have not seen it, since that is newer than the first one.
Yeah.
But watch the third one. It was really freaking good, but it like flips a lot of things on their head. And it's like, okay, hold up. And it makes your gears start turning in your head, and you're just like,
okay,
holy crap. There's like so much, like there's answers to a lot of questions you've had, and, you know, and just so much to it. So if you ever get a chance to check it out, like if it's Redbox, or I think, you know, it might be on one of the streaming services, but like,
yeah, I'm sure somewhere, maybe. Yeah.
But definitely I would highly recommend watching it, especially if you want some closure for some.
I need closure. I'm all about closure. So yes.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of hoarders, I used to work for a company that did restoration, and we used to go into hoarder apartments, and some of the stuff you would see was just, it was crazy. Like would make, like that place look like not bad. You know, there was, but so when I see that, I was just like, oh, yeah, it's messed up.
Right?
Brings back some memories that I don't want to ever remember.
Right. Oh man, I can only imagine. I've only seen stuff on TV. I mean, like my aunt was like if you were like to classify hoarders, she's like like a class 1 out of like, you know, or class 2, like not like high up on the spectrum, but
she's getting there. You know, it honestly the only difference is how much time they have. Like, you know, you can come back a year later and they've gone up a class. Like that's literally, once they start accumulating like that, it's game over. They just need time. And if nobody intervenes to say like, no, this stuff's got to get out of here or whatnot, then they just collect it. Like you would see like antique radios, perfect condition,
Oh,
you know,
dang.
except that they were covered in, like, you know, they were covered in, or they were in a room that you're like, oh yeah, this was the room where, you know, they started using the toilet in because the bathroom was full. So, you know, you're like, yeah, so you don't want anything in this, you know, it doesn't matter who shows up. You know, Antiques Roadshow shows up. It's like, yeah, you don't want anything in this place. You just, it's all getting dumped.
Right. Gosh, I was trying to figure out, I thought I wrote it down, but there was like a fact that I had found out that the creeper was actually based off like a real like a real killer.
Yeah, I did read something about, I can't, yeah, we're amazing, but yeah, I can't remember either, but it was, you're right, it was based off something. I think it was a case where there was somebody who was seen with dumping bodies somewhere. And then the cops were called and whatnot. And yeah, and that was a big case. We should, yeah, you know, that's why I'm not a detective.
Right. Gotta have all the facts.
Yes, that's the facts, man.
But yeah, so I mean, I really enjoy this movie. It's always like in my circulation.
Yeah.
I always like, and I have to watch them consecutively for me. Like you know, since I've seen the other ones, like if I had just seen the first one and never saw the rest of them, I'd just watch the first one. But like after having all three of them been seen,
Yeah.
like I just watch them consecutively.
Nice.
Like I just make a marathon out of it.
Okay, that's good. And the fourth one's coming out, you're saying, you know, soonish. So it's not a bad time to catch up, watch them all, and then you go in, you know, you're kind of, what is the word looking for? You're it's fresh in your mind. So you're like, okay, you're not like sitting there in the theater going, hold on a second.
Right? Like you're like trying to connect dots and you're
Yeah.
like,
or you're going to start picking apart the story. You're like, no, hold on. I just watched the second and third. This is not supposed to happen. She's dead.
Right.
Where did those cats come from?
Right. Where's the consistency?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so like I said, I really enjoyed this film. And you know, I'd rate this pretty highly. If you were to give this film like a rating between 1 and 10, what would you rate Jeepers Creepers?
Ooh, that's, you know what? I think after I first watched it, like way back in 2001, I probably would have gave it a pretty high rating, like maybe like, you know, for fun and, you know, just being a little bit different. And the first hour is great, right? It's but I would say I probably would have gave it an 8. Rewatching it, I'd probably give it a solid 7, you know, 7.5, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little higher, you know, going back at the time, but yeah, rewatching it, I think it holds up.
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of leaning. I sometimes I teeter, but like I'm feeling at least like a 7.5 to an 8.
Yeah. Like it's a pretty solid movie.
Right. There's some questions, like we said, there's some questions you're like, you can't ignore, and some things you're like, that it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't quite age well. But I mean, the majority of it does.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, there's no, you don't watch it back and go, oh God. Yeah, and the budget was only 10 mil. 10 million. Like, I mean, in 2001 too as well, like 10 million wasn't that much for a movie. You weren't making Batman and Robin for 10 mil.
Right. And you know, I guess I did forget to mention too, in the film we learned that, I should have thrown this in earlier, but like the creeper can smell your fear, and like that's such a huge thing to like not mention.
We didn't want to spoil it. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, let's go with
we
that.
didn't spoil that. Yeah, exactly. We'll go.
But and that he uses what he eats from his victims to make himself whole.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like, I don't think I've seen any other movie with a horror creature or something like that does that. Mm-hmm. Like, when you think of that, like, you can't name anything right off the top of your head that you're like, okay, that's kind of like this. It's kind of like that. You're like, no, Jeepers Creepers. That's like,
it was a different, because I think, you know, going back to 01 as well, we had Michael Myers run around, of course, Jason, you know, Freddy, but this was a little bit different. It's really hard, I think, to come up with something really original, right?
Right.
You have to go human, but a complete psychopath like Texas Chainsaw, or you have to start going supernatural. This was, kind of kept you guessing until near the end when, he starts oiling himself up like a greased pig in a in a rodeo and slipping through the bars and killing at will. But there it is again. Oh my God. Yeah, there we go. Oh God. That might be your next cosplay. I don't know. I don't want to, tease or give anything away, but we'll see, right?
Right. But yeah, I was so glad that you wanted to do this film. Because I haven't done any Jeepers Creepers besides I've done some trailer reactions to the new one, but I haven't really talked about this film on any even on the shows that I've been a guest on. I haven't. Jeepers Creepers has never come up, and I was excited. I was like, okay, hell yeah, like this is a movie that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I was very glad. So thank you so much for thinking.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah,
and thank you so much for coming on. Before we exit out of this, what's next for you?
What's next? Well, we just moved across country, which was, we're trying to recover and we're trying to get the place ready. And then I really want to do, I know it sounds funny, I do some very, very minor cosplay where I'll throw on a Ghostface mask and do a few, parodies and stuff like that. I do really want to do something proper. I got a few ideas, and so that's something I want to do. I know I see Lady Crisis, obviously. She's great. She's on Instagram as well. She's great with the makeup and the SFX. But so, I see stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? That's the next level. I got to try something. So I have a few things in the works. It'll play off. Hopefully it pays off and I can actually do it. But like I said, with the big move, really set me back, missing a few Comic Cons. And also working on my impressions, not in imitations. I'd maybe like to do some voiceovers or do a few things. And that's probably, for the short term, that's what we're looking at.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm excited. I'll keep an eye out on Instagram and whatnot. Are you on any other social media platforms, or is it mainly just Instagram?
Mainly Instagram. I mean, I'm on all of them, but I'm Evil Dave on Twitter. That's okay. But and then you see, whoops, excuse me, sorry, headphones are popping out here. But best thing to do is follow me, Leprechaun81 on Instagram, and that's it.
Hell yeah. I'll definitely leave some links below to Leprechaun81 Dave.
Thank you.
Some of his stuff below. Definitely check him out and go give him a follow and some love. Did you want to give us one last impression on the way out?
yeah. Let me see. Because everyone's heard the school. Okay, let me see here. We could do. I was. It's not ready yet. I was doing Christopher Walken. I love him. It's not ready. I'm getting the mannerisms down, but maybe I'll just I'll just go with Ghostface since I was talking. I'll go, hello, Sydney. You want to die tonight? I want to see what your insides look like. And then, or I like one of my favorite, you know what? Oh, so we're just going to leave it at that. We're just going to leave it at that. If I start getting too crazy here, I'll start missing lines. We'll just quit while we're ahead here.
No worries, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, buddy.
I would definitely love to have you on again.
I appreciate that.
Maybe we can dive into the sequels or whatever.
You know what? I'd love to come back for the sequel. Yeah. Or, if the fourth chapter or whatever, the reboots or whatever comes out, please keep me in mind. And
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll have a few beers, and it won't be a Thursday and a work day. And we're like,
yeah, it was quite a jaunt today. But I hope you have a killer rest of your day, man.
You too. Thanks so much.
And for all you viewers out there, keep killing it out there, my friends. Just remember, don't get caught.